Međunarodna fondacija Helthy posvećena očuvanju mora i edukaciji obilježila je krajem ljeta 10. obljetnicu svog postojanja na mjestu odakle je sve krenulo, u Krničkom portu.
We are very happy to be here in Croatia celebrating our 10 years anniversary together with Helthy and Ghost Diving. This is the exact place we had our kick-off event 10 years ago. And we didn't know how long this initiative will last, a year or two or maybe longer. And very glad to have the Ghost Diving Adriatic team here with Croatian, Slovenian, Italian divers all year round cleaning up the seas. And now we brought together all over the world divers to celebrate and work together.
Back in 2013, we started our first funded project here in this place. So I was already with some friends diving here, and we did all our technical trainings here. So we knew Mauricio already for a long time, and we encountered also lost fishing gear here. So one of the wrecks was MS Argo, which is one of the popular wrecks here, and that wreck was full of lost fishing gear, so we decided to make there a project, and that was our first funded project for Healthy Seas since the beginning.
Nekako ideja da, s obzirom da smo mi na neki način prvo važno čišćenje se desilo u Krnici, mislim da je to na neki način omaž ili ti na neki način nagrada nama kao onima koji 10 godina već to konstantno rade. Prije svega je to svaki mjesec, kao što smo već dokumentirali u prošlosti, a s druge strane je jedan lijepi završetak ovog prvog desetljeća. Helthy se dalje razvija kao fondacija sa novim idejama i novim rješenjima, tako da ja vjerujem da će u budućnosti i nekako i drugi timovi imati prilike, odnosno neki drugi timovi više doći do izražaja. Ovo nama to jako puno znači, jer se na neki način valorizira sve ono što smo radili kroz godine.
We started with a small group of divers in 3 countries in Europe. Here in Croatia I was one of the base already. At that time with 20-25 divers 10 years ago, and now we are 350 divers globally. Since the last 10 years we collected over 900 tons of fishing nets and other marine litter.
U 10 godina postojanja fondacija Helthy doživjela je značajan rast. Do danas su razvili mrežu od 150 partnera i proširili akcije čišćenja podmorja u 20 zemalja. Na proslavi jubileja okupili su se sudionici iz cijelog svijeta kako bi razmijenili iskustva i raspravljali o budućim strategijama. Prvog dana susreta održane su informativne prezentacije koje su prikazale povijest, ali i buduće ambicije fondacije.
We have 3 pillars of our activities. Cleaning up the seas is only one thing, but eventually prevention is always better than cure, right? So also in terms of human health, but also the health of nature, seas and oceans. So working with fishermen, preventing that their nets ending up in the sea, being dumped, is very important. So next to the cleanup with divers, next to working with fishermen, the third pillar of our activities is education.
When we started back in 2012, because that's when ghost diving was starting, it was very hard to find any information about the ghost fishing problem in the world. I did a lot of research, but it was not that easy to find a lot of information about this. And but now we see that the world is actually more getting aware about it. So the more cleanups we do, and I always say we can remove the lost fishing gear, and that's great. It will help the local environment, but it's just a little drop in the ocean. So for us, it's more important that everything we do, we show as much as possible. So every time we dive, we take videos and we take photos back, and we show that. We just puke it on social media because it's super important for us to tell the public what is going on. But it's absolutely changing. The world is more getting aware of the problem now.
U sklopu sklopu obilježavanja 10. obljetnice održane su i edukativne radionice za učenike područne škole kako bi se potaknula svijest o očuvanju podmorja.
Edukacija koja se i danas odvila kao što se odvija na redovnoj bazi tijekom cijele godine po svim školama u Hrvatskoj stvarno je jako dobra stvar. Najmlađe članove naše obitelji učimo kako reciklirati, odnosno šta je volontiranje i kako da im pokažemo da budu sutra bolji ljudi. Ono što bi posebno istaknuo da kako vrijeme prolazi, djeca postaju puno bolji nego što smo bili mi u prošlosti i to je ono što svima nama daje svjetlo budućnosti. Najbitnije je da djecu se ne vrši nikakav pressing, odnosno da to sve ide kroz igru i veselje, da djeca to prihvate sami, da im se postavljaju pitanja, da oni naravno imaju priliku dodirnuti ronilačku opremu, da vide to kako je u biti ozbiljno ronjenje i koliko jedna limenka ili plastična boca koja se baci negdje u prirodi, koju vjetar odnese na dno mora gdje trebaju godine kako bi se to recikliralo, odnosno ostaje na dnu, mi kao ronioci to vadimo van, pokazujemo znači podvodne snimke i djeca mogu uživo vidjeti kako se od starih odbačenih ribarskih alata putem postupka recikliranja od toga rade odjevni predmeti i to je jako bitno da to djeca osjete u svojim rukama uživo i vide, znači što bi reklo se na engleskom from waste to wealth, odnosno to od otpada do obuće svojim rukama i očima.
Osim odjeće od ribarskih alata nastaju i drugi zanimljivi proizvodi.
We upcycle old fishing nets into beautiful new products such as a bracelet, keychains, dog leashes, bags, and we are a partner of Helthy Seas since the beginning. So we were founded in 2015 when Benjamin and Madeleine, our founders, they saw the problem of ghost nets for the really first time on their holiday, and they came back with their backpacks full of these ghost nets, and they were looking for organizations or people who were already active in this field, and then they found Helthy Seas. So we can only use nets which are quite clean, which have a good quality and also a typical structure. So we cannot use airy net. So we really look after the recovery, is this a net which we can use at the end? But what's beautiful about our product that you really see on the product, you can imagine that this was a fishing net before. Today we are doing an art project with all the people here. So we are creating one big jellyfish out of old fishing nets to really make a statement and show that these are resources which can have a second life at the end. And today it will be like a decoration for events.
U Krnicu su stigli ronioci iz timova iz cijelog svijeta kako bi sudjelovali u akciji čišćenja krničkog podmorja.
The teams here are already diving for 5 days. Today was not the only day of diving, so we already had the chance to visit several reefs for some removal. And what we found was mainly, actually what we always find here is old and newer gill nets and trammel nets and fishing lines. And a lot of cages. We have a lot of cages here. So actually it's more or less always the same what we find here. Every year when we come back it's always polluted again because the fisheries don't stop, of course.
I'm Yongyu Kim from South Korea. I'm representing the chapter of ghost diving South Korea. And then we joined this group at 2017. When I saw the first time these guys, they inspiring a lot to us. So we start to join this group. And then after that, I've always dreamed of to join this kind of global mission.
My name is Ahmad. I am from Ghost Diving East Med. I operate in Lebanon and Cyprus. Started with ghost diving. I first met them in 2016, and then after that it was the first project in collaboration. And from there on it started growing and growing and growing. So basically Cyprus is almost like here, so the same environment we have in the same Mediterranean Sea. Visibility is good, but we have a lot of fishing activities. Basically this is why we can find a lot of ghost nets to remove.
My name is Rob Wilson. I'm the team leader and the founder for Ghost Diving New Zealand. We've been invited over here to join the Healthy Seas 10-year commemoration. The stuff that we deal with back home in New Zealand, we're dealing with primarily sort of dumped rubbish like car batteries and e-scooters and tyres and rubbish and bottles and stuff like that. So coming over here and facing the net problem head on has been really amazing. And also working with the other teams from across the planet has been really essential. So yeah, awesome.
I am an underwater photographer and videographer as well. And seeing all of this is the pollution is beyond recognition. And there was a need for us to actually intervene in these kind of problematic issues that are being left by the fishermen unintentionally or intentionally. So at some point, and this is where we dive, so this is the sea, and we only have one place to do it. So all of the recreational places that we are teaching in or actually diving ourselves, we've stumbled upon a lot of fishing gear. Was it nets, cages, hooks, lines, or anything that is left behind? Thus the need to clean them up, and this is where actually the motivation comes from.
So within the ghost diving organisation, we standardise our equipment, so we all have very similar equipment. So if one person has a breakage or a failure or some kind of problem or forgets his equipment, we can swap it out because we all have multiple sets of gear. It's a very militaristic way of doing things, but it works like clockwork, and it's a really great way of doing things. Just when we go out and do our dives, we're usually in teams of 3, and each person will be allocated a role. You'll have someone who's a overseer who will just make sure that everything's safe within the zone when we're operating. We'll have someone with a stage bottle. It's a large gas, like basically a scuba tank slinged off, and we'll use that for inflation of the lift bags. So the third person in the team will be carrying the lift bags. They're the big balloons that we use that are gas filled, and we'll attach them to the object that we want to send to the surface. By adding gas via the scuba tank, we create positive buoyancy against the negatively weighted object, and we send it up to the surface where it's recovered by either, for us in New Zealand, we recover them by free divers. Here in Croatia, we've used boats, so it's been really, really effective, very fast.
We are so many guys from all around the world together, and then we do the same thing to make the clean ocean in Croatia. It was amazing, and also I believe our actions is always speak louder than any words.
Potreba definitivno postoji, čak i može srediti sve više. Ono što je dobro i što se vidi je da je onečišćenje ribarskim alatima sve manje. Znači mreže koje mi vadimo su u najvećem broju, u velikom postotku, možemo reći preko 90%, su mreže koje su zaostale od možda prije 10, 15, 20 ili 30 godina. Na pozicijama na kojima mi smo očistili od tih mreža ili vrša, vrlo rijetko srećemo nove alate. Mislim da ljudi, ribari prije svega danas i upotrebom moderne tehnologije kroz navigaciju, kroz sondiranje dna, znaju gdje smiju, ne smiju, mogu, ne mogu baciti mreže, a s druge strane ono što je isto tako činjenica da je ribara sve manje, pa i manje alata kojima se lovi, nešto su drugačijeg tipa. Drugi dio pitanja je smeća sve više, nažalost. Koliko god mi smeće očistimo, to je doslovce kap u moru, jer nakon svake ljetne sezone, a i ne nužno, je smeća jednostavno sve više, a ono što je na neki način još gore, što smeće nalazimo na mjestima na kojima nismo mogli ni sanjati da će smeće doći, pogotovo plastika, staklene boce. Doslovce u svakom kutku podmorja ćete naći nekakav otpad koji tamo u principu ne pripada.
Nakon aktivnosti u Istri sudionici su se uputili u Sloveniju u pogone tvrtke Aquafil, gdje se recikliraju ribarske mreže, tepisi i plastični otpad.
Actually, the idea came more than 10 years ago. We wanted to raise awareness and to explain that if made properly, it was possible to recover the nets and to create value out of them instead of abandoning them into the seas. And this is how we started. Here in this warehouse, we are having the biggest part of our stock of waste. The stock of waste is coming both from pre-consumer streams and from post-consumer streams. When we speak about post-consumer streams, the two most important ones in terms of quantities are represented by fishing nets and by carpets. Fishing nets recently bigger stream than carpet because we are getting bigger and bigger in collection. And then of course we also welcome the material which is coming from the LTCs. So the divers are collecting the nets, the nylon ones and the non-nylon ones are sent to another partner which is Nofir in Lithuania. Lithuania is sorting the different types, when possible recycle, and the nylon fraction is sent here to Slovenia for the so-called Econil regeneration system.
Dnevno se preradi čak i do 90 tona sirovine, od čega je većinski dio najlon koji se reciklira i dalje prerađuje.
The nylon part is of course recovered, the non-nylon part, at least for the time being, is going lost. So it's our challenge during the next 2 to 3 years to develop technologies for recovering 100%, either under the form of new nylon or under the form of energy.
Aquafil je patentirao jedinstvenu tehnologiju za recikliranje najlonskog otpada, uključujući ribarske mreže. Umjesto nafte Aquafil koristi sirovinu poput ribarskih mreža, tepiha i plastike za proizvodnju sirovine za polijamid 6. Konačni proizvod filament koristi se u modnoj industriji.
U Aquafilu imamo jedinstvenu tehnologiju koja je isto patentirana. Mi recikliramo najlon 6, to su ribiške mreže iz mora koje sakuplja Helthy i ostali. Znači, te dođu u Ajdušćinu gdje se presortiraju. Iz Ajdušćine ih šaljemo u Ljubljanu gdje imamo kemičko recikliranje, kemičnu depolimerizaciju u kojoj ribiške mreže razgradimo do derivata nafte. Znači mi umjesto da štartamo kao naši konkurenti sa naftom i naprave najlon 6, mi štartamo sa otpadkima, ribiške mreže, tepihi, otpadna plastika i napravimo kaprolaktam koja je sirovina za polijamid 6. To dobro pročistimo i napravimo ovaj produkt koji je filament, koji se upotrebljava za modu, za kupače kostime, za noćne obleke i je sasvim iste kvalitete kao što je najlon koji se pravi iz nafte.